My name is Ester Saltzman, and in 1972, as a unilingual English speaker, I enrolled at the Université de Montréal.
Gens du pays, c'est votre tour de vous laisser parler d'amour. Gens du pays, c'est votre tour de vous laisser.
In July, I received notification that I had received a scholarship from the Canadian government. In order to make use of the scholarship, I had to be enrolled in a program that September. I hadn't applied to any school to do graduate work, and so I decided to apply to the University of Montreal in the education department. And lo and behold, I was actually successful. However, there were two glitches to that. One being that my French was minimal, my language expression was minimal, and they had actually never had an English-speaking student in the program before. But my year began in September, and I had a great deal of difficulty understanding what was being said in the lectures, and I did not contribute, almost nil, in the classes. At one time, I was taking a French phonetics course, which required that I actually decipher between French phonemes. And the professor announced that we were going to have an auditory exam at the end of the semester. And then, lo and behold, about 2 weeks before the actual exam, the professor announces to the class that he's changed the evaluation assessment and it's going to be group projects. To this day, I think I'm wondering if he did that just to accommodate me, but of course I would never really know that. Christmas time, we had a 3-week break, and which I needed badly to get away from all of this. And then when I returned in January, all of a sudden I could understand almost everything they were saying. My language expression had improved enormously. More importantly, I started to think in French, which was really quite shocking to me. I had come from McGill, and McGill at that time had been very politicized. We had many demonstrations against the Vietnam War. We had many draft deserters and evaders on campus. And of course, in 1970, we dealt with the October crisis, and there were soldiers were on campus.
We need people who don't like the looks of a soldier.
At any cost? At any cost? How far would you go with that? How far would you extend that?
Well, just watch me.
Les autres 16 ans pour se bâtir à côté d'elle. Mon pays, ce n'est pas un pays, c'est l'hiver. Mon refrain, ce n'est pas un refrain.
So I anticipated that given the times, the University of Montreal would be very politicized. To my surprise, it wasn't at all. Students seemed to be very directed in their studies, unlike the other university, French university, Université du Québec. So it was a shock to me and a surprise, given that it was a time for nationalism, it was a time for independence.
And then there is the other great question, the survival of the French language and culture in Quebec.
But I saw none of that. There were some comments, anti-English comments made.
The French Canadians insist that if immigrants are allowed to speak English, the French language and culture will vanish into the ocean of English-speaking North America.
And if I was within earshot of the comments, they would say things to me like, we don't like the English, but we do like you, which just kind of communicated to me that there really was still such a great divide between the two cultures. That year, the caretakers were going on strike. And so that meant that the building in which we were studying would be closed. And the professors had decided that they would hold alternative classes either in their homes or in restaurants. And the students seemed to all agree. I just almost automatically responded that I wouldn't be attending alternative programs because as far as I was concerned, this was strike-breaking activity. And so a few of the students kind of went along with me, and some of the professors decided not to hold alternative programs. But I must say the majority did continue on with alternative sessions. The year was actually quite momentous for me. I grew to understand and appreciate a culture which had been quite foreign to me in the past. And more importantly, the other became far less the other. And I think not only myself, but the other students as well really began to see that despite our many differences, we had so much in common.
le temps de s'aimer, le jour de le dire, font comme la neige au doigt du printemps. Fait-on de nos joies, fait-on de nos rires, ces yeux où nos regards se mirent. C'est demain que j'avais 20 ans.